We just don't have enough to feed our families. And that's the reason that we come. It's just that instinct that we have to survive. So when I came, it was hard. I had to come without documents. That's as many people come right now without documents. I was fortunate enough that I was able to marry my husband Manuel 6 years later, and he was a citizen. And because I was married in '74, and my husband petitioned me right away, I was able to pay a fine of $1,000 for being here undocumented and being able to get my papers. I become a resident, and later on I become a citizen 5 years later. And I had 3 children, my husband and I, we had 3 children. My 3 children, I have a son who has a doctor, my daughter who has a master, and my other son who has a bachelor's degree. They are great contributors of the tax system here. And I wanted to share that with you because this is what immigrants have the potential to do. Since I become a citizen, I have never missed an election that I had not voted, that's not typical of the people who even were born here, right? So besides that, I had always worked as with a nonprofit organizations, that's the one that I'm going to talk to you about. So this is the potential that each immigrant has, the potential that they bring gifts to this country, that we can make this country great. And because we're so grateful that we're able to have the opportunity to work hard. As my 3 children said, the value that you pass on to us is that you work hard to get ahead. There is no free lunches. And despite the fact that a lot of people had the stigma that we come here to use the services, where undocumented person do not qualify for food stamps or SSI. They don't qualify unless they have children who are born here. Not for themselves, because I still have a lot of my relatives who are here. I have one of my cousins who's still undocumented here. And she works hard. She works as a maid. And one of the sad things that happen when you don't have an immigration or reform or the opportunity to get here legally, that promotes a lot of the oppression on workers. This is what we see every single day in our offices. People who work 2 weeks, people who work a month and do not get paid. This is what promotes not to have documents. People who we abuse, they've been abused. Some children at 15 years old like myself who bring here to work in a restaurant, but they actually end up working in a bar and forced to be in prostitution. This is what is happening when we don't have immigration reform. They don't have the same opportunities because, after 2001, the law changed, and because if people came undocumented to this country and they can marry a citizen like I did, or they can be petitioned by a citizen father or mother, they don't have the opportunity to get legal here in this country. We have thousands of cases in that situation. People say, well, get on the line. The line is very long. And it could be, and people can get on the line, they don't have the opportunity because if they enter undocumented to this country, they still cannot, there is no pardon right now. There is no fee that they can pay to be legalized if they happen to come undocumented to this country. So there is no line. Our immigration system is the same immigration system that served me in the 70s, and it's the same immigration system that continues to exist because it hasn't been updated. And so it's a completely outdated system that is not working for the kind of country that we are. We we come here with a need to work, to feed our families, to survive, and then there is this great need in here of workers. And I know that Muskegon has high unemployment, but just recently, the United Farm Workers, which is the mother of our organization, had a campaign. I don't know if you heard about the campaign to say, take my job. How many of you heard about that campaign? Raise your hand. Take my job, right? Arturo Rodriguez, the president of the United Farm Workers, said that they got thousands of hits with this campaign. But how many people applied to work in the fields of California? 7 people. And Colbert was one of them. He didn't last very long, except one day. You know? So that myth that we come to take the jobs of the people who are here unemployed is a myth. Because the reality is that most of the people who come here undocumented, they do the most dangerous jobs, the hardest jobs that nobody else is willing to do. That's the reality. 70 or 80% of the people who pick the crops are undocumented people, because it's first generation who comes here that they're able to do that kind of work that nobody else would want to do for different reasons. And so there is no line. There is no taking of jobs to people. These people are already here. They're working. Even in the valley where I come from, there is a lot of people who are, most of the people, we don't have unemployment people. We don't have people who claim unemployment that don't have documents because they can't. They're working. They're the ones who are doing the yards. They're the ones who take care of the children when people go to work. They're the ones who working in the fields when we have work available. They're the ones who doing construction. And this is not people who are unemployed in the line. So they're not taking any jobs. They're not going to be they're not going to be added to the unemployment. They're people who are already working.